From the Convergence Studio in the School of Communication, this is Loyola News Chicago.
Hello and welcome to Loyola News Chicago. I'm Emily Olson.
And I'm Gabby Demergen. Here's the news. Security breaches have happened this week at our campus and another Chicago area campus. The more serious of the two was at the University of Illinois at Chicago, UIC. A female student was sexually assaulted in the shower at her dorm. After she screamed for help, a male UIC student grabbed the attacker and threw him out of the bathroom while other students comforted the victim. The suspect has been identified as Tavares Humphreys. He's 28 years old and is not a UIC student. He faces charges of sexual assault, attempted murder, and several other counts. New information has revealed that the suspect lunged at the victim and choked her so hard that she lost consciousness. On our campus, an unauthorized entry into Regis Residence Hall was reported to campus safety. Two students told Residence Life that when they returned to their locked room, their belongings had been obviously moved around while they were gone. Under campus safety rules, everyone must swipe their ID to enter the residence halls. Campus safety also reminds students to always lock your doors, never lend your key or ID card to anyone, and report all suspicious people and activities to campus safety immediately. We spoke with Loyola's Director of Communication, Maeve Kiley, about the incident. She told us, quote, "We obviously take crime and sexual assault very seriously, and I do know that campus safety works very closely with Residence Life to ensure the safety of our students on and off campus."
Although Loyola's security breach was less severe than UIC's, it still feels intrusive to many students. Kendall Pectus reports on her reactions to the Regis Hall break-in.
After the recent security breach at Regis Hall earlier this week, many Loyola students are not only questioning how something like this could have happened, but also their safety.
I live in that area myself, and usually the crime alerts that do go on in the school happen along Winthrop and that street, and I know it's right next to Rogers Park, and it is kind of a more dangerous area. But I feel like Loyola does a pretty decent job of making sure no one gets in, so this is kind of random occurrence.
It is a little scary, especially since that's a freshman year hall and there is a front desk with people checking in. But I do understand that it just forces students to remember that even in a Loyola University where we have a front desk with people watching, people can get through just in hidden within other people. So just to remind people to lock your doors and be safe, even if you think you are fully safe.
Well, I used to be a desk receptionist, so as soon as I read it, I thought of it from that perspective, like, oh no, they're probably in some trouble for letting that through. It's kind of a surprisingly stressful job when people just shuffle through all at the same time. So I could see how it could happen. It's very understandable, but at the same time, their whole point sitting there is to offer security to the students in the area. And as a resident, I would feel a little less safe.
As a reminder, campus safety is urging students to keep their doors locked and be aware of their surroundings. Kendall Pectus, Loyola News, Chicago.
Loyola students were alerted to this incident the very same day. But the Phoenix reports that campus safety hasn't always been as responsive. Earlier this year, the Loyola community wasn't alerted to two sexual assaults that occurred near the Lakeshore campus. A Loyola shuttle bus heading to Water Tower campus this morning experienced a minor fender bender. Students reported that a car collided with the shuttle bus when trying to switch lanes. The driver later entered the shuttle bus to talk to the driver. We talked to students who were on the bus.
I just kind of, sat there, looked around at the other passengers who had a similar kind of just wide-eyed look on their face, and everybody just kind of sat there in disbelief.
It was kind of scary. Everyone just went dead silent, which is strange for the shuttle because everyone's always talking. And after the boom, we didn't really know what to do. We were all looking at the driver.
Shuttle just kind of swerved out a bit because it got hit by another car. I didn't see it happen, but it was really loud, and I was on the opposite side of the shuttle, and there were some girls standing, and they fell forward.
Another shuttle bus was able to stop and pick up students and bring them to Water Tower campus. Students didn't report any injuries.
Flavio Bravo will be sworn in as USGA president after winning the election by almost 10% over opponent Philip John Puzo. Rambler voter turnout for USGA elections was around 29%, as 5% increase from the last year. Sophomore Bravo will leading USGA with Vice President Michael Fasulo, also a sophomore. The two beat Puzo and his running mate Samantha Juarez by 9.7%. Bravo and running mate Michael Fasulo want to focus on getting students involved in administration decisions. They also want to organize stronger connections between Loyola students and community members by creating a Chief Community Relations Officer. Bravo and Fasulo will be sworn in at the end of this week.
USGA has passed a measure that will ban the use of plastic bags at Aramark locations on campus. Students will be encouraged to use reusable bags while shopping. Compostable or paper bags will be available for students to buy. Though the plans are not yet finalized, organizer Gabrielle de Baldassari says these bags would cost around 5 cents. Baldassari says that this is a simple measure that could make a big environmental impact on campus. Loyola is known for several environmental initiatives. One of them is the STEP program, which stands for Solutions to Environmental Problems. The program is now several years old, but Larissa Castillo reports that it continues to have an impact.
And then travel back all the way to the boiler.
Zach Weichman, the man who is now manager of Loyola's biodiesel lab within the Institute of Environmental Sustainability, was once a student of the first ever STEP class offered at Loyola. Weichman's class started producing biodiesel as a solution to a problem on Loyola's very own campus.
The reason we chose it was because we could identify both a real tangible problem on campus, the emissions from our transportation fleet, and a waste product on campus, the cooking oil from the cafeterias, that were perfectly paired together.
Since the biodiesel program began in 2007, Loyola has produced almost 21,000 gallons of biodiesel, most of which go to Loyola's shuttles. The small amount of remaining biodiesel goes towards powering the geothermal system that cools and heats the Institute. According to Weichman, the biodiesel lab is far from being a one-trick pony.
At any point in time, we've got 6 projects that we're behind on, 4 we're working on, and another 12 sitting on the shelf waiting to go.
The biodiesel lab inside the Institute has larger biodiesel processors that can produce up to 30,000 gallons a year, more than 10 times the amount of biodiesel the old lab was capable of making. Since the used cooking oil from all of the dining halls at Loyola is only enough to make 3,000 gallons of biodiesel, Loyola now has contracts with other universities such as DePaul and Northwestern to obtain oil from their dining halls. The biodiesel lab isn't the only good thing that came out of the STEP program.
One of the outcomes of the class is that projects have a life, like they have a legacy on campus, where if you're walking around you might actually see evidence of a past student STEP project.
Winthrop Garden on the north side of campus is an example of one of those legacies that was built over time by STEP students. Larissa Castillo, Loyola News Chicago.
Although the biodiesel program is no longer offered as a class, STEP still has courses on water and food systems. These are open to students from any major.
Warm weather has been teasing Chicago, but the cold temperatures decided to creep back in and break records in the meantime. Chicago's winter was the coldest four-month period since 1872. The National Weather Service reports that March was Chicago's 19th coldest ever. Chicago drivers should be prepared for more parking woes as street cleaning begins. The Department of Streets and Sanitation is planning an aggressive cleaning plan after a historically cold and long winter. The rough weather made it difficult for trucks to get out at all this winter. Drivers who violate temporary parking restrictions during street cleaning could receive a $50 fine from the city.
All Loyola students are familiar with the computer-based program Alcohol EDU that's designed to help students make healthier choices. All incoming Loyola students have to take it. But Courtney Griffin reports the program gets mixed reviews from students, and some are wondering why the university recently renewed it for another 2 years.
When senior Lexi Warner decided to transfer to Loyola last fall, she was ready for a new environment. What she didn't expect was a repeat of her alcohol education program.
I transferred to Loyola last year when I was already 21. I had actually taken an alcohol EDU course at my freshman year of college at Colorado State, and it just seemed kind of pointless.
But despite criticism from users like Warner, Loyola has decided to renew the controversial program for 2 more years. Loyola Phoenix reporter Elizabeth Romansky says even students who were taking the program for the first time did not give it rave reviews.
I got one freshman who said that he thought it kind of helped knowing about what options he had, but he also thought it was common sense and that he didn't remember any of it. He said he Googled the answers for every single question for the test.
Assistant Wellness Center Director Natasha Majay is well aware of the criticism. Majay says that Alcohol EDU has updated its technology to be far better than what students first experienced when the university began with the program in 2007.
The platform looks completely different. It's more innovative, more interactive, and so I hope that student satisfaction, like the experience there, will be different for students.
Mm-hmm. The current version of the program comes in 2 parts, complete with modules and videos such as this one.
I mean, I go out every weekend. There's no way this stuff is true.
The entire program can take up to 3 hours to complete. Werner says that while she appreciates the effort to update Alcohol EDU, she still sees better options.
Maybe having something in person, I think that would be a lot more effective.
Students will continue to take part in the program until it is up for renewal in 2016. Courtney Griffin, Loyola News, Chicago.
Alcohol EDU's parent company says more than a third of all universities in the country use the program. That includes at least 2 other Jesuit universities, Marquette and Loyola Marymount. But it is not used at 2 other Chicago universities, UIC or DePaul.
Listen up, seasonal workers. You may be in luck to get more cash. Up ahead on Loyola News Chicago.
And St. Patrick's Day is long gone, but at Loyola, there's still plenty of Irish cheer to go around.
Miss? 多少钱一碗？一碗 just 一碗。我和你 I'll pay you money. I've got this money here. Please take the money, please. See?
把他带走。
And Megan is here with sports. Megan, the rain getting Loyola sports down?
It was all quiet on the Loyola front in athletics this week, but baseball is in full swing in Chicago. Cubs and Sox are both in action right now, and fans across the city are ready for America's favorite pastime. Joe Flaherty found out what Loyola baseball fans are most excited for.
40 degrees, damp, dreary. Might not be baseball weather just yet, but the boys of the summer are back in full swing. Time to get excited, right? Well, maybe not for some Loyola students.
I don't really follow baseball, and really the reason is I don't see the point of baseball. The whole point of baseball seems to be that you start in one place and the goal is to successfully run in a circle.
I think it's kind of a boring sport. Like I've been to some baseball games before. I've been to some Cubs games and a White Sox game before, but I just don't think it's that interesting.
It's a long, kind of slow-paced game, so it's hard to sit down and watch the whole thing. So I might sit down and watch 1 or 2, or I'll go to a game or 2 over the summer. But it's kind of a long series to follow all throughout the season.
After searching far and wide, we did eventually weed out a couple of baseball fans, but they weren't rooting for the hometown Cubs or White Sox.
I love the New York Mets because I'm from New York. Their games are so much fun, and even though they're not the best team, they are a lot of fun to go to the games.
Go Red Sox! At least Bridget's excited, and I'm excited, even as a Cubs fan, because as they say, hope springs eternal. Joe.
And even if Loyola students aren't excited, at least our staff is. And that's about the only thing they have to be excited about, because our brackets have left us merely disappointed. However, Buffalo Grove resident Brad Binder had the magic touch with his bracket up until Dayton's second win against Syracuse. Binder said he made his bracket in a rush and just conveniently called some of the most surprising upsets of March Madness, one of which was the Mercer win against Duke.
I wasn't too methodical with my picks, but I did go with my gut. And I would say I did it in 5 minutes, meaning that when I did my picks, I really just went with my instinct, and I didn't give it a once over after I was done.
Finder's bracket wasn't in any kind of pool for money, including Warren Buffett's billion-dollar challenge. Well, at least I know who I'm consulting for my bracket next year. Last weekend was the Shamrock Shuffle in Chicago, and in keeping with our Irish theme, some Loyola dancers are jigging their way to the top.
It's spring, and the pitter-patter of Irish feet is in the air. This is Loyola's Irish Dancing Club. The club was started in the fall of 2011 and has grown to be more than 10 members. The dancers perform at events around campus and in the local community. Junior and club founder Sarah Gayhard said because the club is still new, they have more goals to accomplish.
Trying to get our foot in the door with some performance opportunities and coming together as a group to really make a cohesive club and have set dances and set performances and things like that, while training competitively and also spreading the performance aspect of Irish dance into the Loyola community.
Club members are all at different levels, but that doesn't stop them from working together. They help each other learn dances and new choreography. Sophomore and Irish Dance Club President Haley Castell will represent America at the World Irish Dancing Championships on Easter. She says Irish dancing is different from other styles of dance, and one of the reasons she got involved with it.
And it allows you to be both aggressive and graceful at the same time, and it never gets boring. You're always trying to learn something new. It never seems like I'm just doing the same thing over and over again.
Castell practices her 3 routines for 2 hours every day. She says having the club to practice with makes the experience even more enjoyable.
I don't really have the discipline to do it by myself, so with other girls there to push me, it helps a lot, and we also get to have a little bit of fun with it, so we get to make up our own choreography.
Castell and 9 other girls performed at Relay for Life last weekend. It was their first performance for the Loyola community this semester. With a little Irish luck, we'll be seeing them all dancing around campus more often.
That music was stuck in my head for a week. Can you jig it? Yes, I can. Thank you, Megan.
A new initiative will help seasonal workers have a job all year long. The program, launched by Skills for Chicagoland's Future, allows for 2 companies to share their seasonal workers. About 15 employees will spend March to mid-October employed by Divvy bike operator Alta Bicycle Share. From mid-October until February, they will work for chain retailer Gap, working in shipping, pricing, replenishment, and selling. The jobs will pay between $10 and $12 per hour and will include full benefits for the employees.
There are many fashion bloggers out there, and as Kendall Peck just found out, having a successful blog takes more than just a few posts here and there.
Wouldn't have met if it weren't for her blog. Other big names she's collaborated with include Vogue and Macy's.
But there's more to Cryer than just her blog. She's also working as a copywriter and advertising right here at FCB Chicago.
And those who know her, like her FCB co-worker Kate Wojin, are amazed she finds the time to do both.
This is a very demanding job, and we're here sometimes late, and she still finds the time to go home and work on her blog, which is her passion.
Last year, Crayer's blog had nearly 200,000 hits, all from unique visitors.
A popular TV show ended, which has prompted much discussion. When journalism meets opinion, up ahead.
It's not all about princesses and dolls anymore. Stay with us to find out how toy companies are deviating from the norm and what the movie is the inspiration.
Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Maybe you should go to your shelter and get a mature dog who will make your blues disappear. How's that for tricks? I got picked. Wow.
Life is full of distractions. Some are minor. Crash, look who it is. Others are more severe.
Angela Rideout is here with today's Loyola News Extra. So, I hear that activists are saying that feminism is making men unhappy.
Yeah, they're claiming that feminism is one of the main causes of men declining in the workplace. Women's History Month may be over, but the discussion of feminism is still going. The Heritage Foundation held a panel to discuss the failures and future of feminism. The panel mainly consisted of conservative journalists and activists. Most of them said that feminism has made men miserable and they're slowly declining in salaries. The panelists say men are now less likely to graduate high school and make up less numbers on college campuses. Although they concluded that men are less happy, they said the same for women. The panelists say that now women and men are equally unhappy. And is feminism affecting how children play? I found out that some toy manufacturers are changing conventional girls' toys.
I'm ready for the tea party.
Olivia Taylor may look like the quintessential girl who has tea parties and plays house. She twirls around in princess dresses accessorized with pearls and tiaras. Her favorite colors are pink and purple. But Olivia also shows an interest in boys' toys, and the idea of a toy archery set is not too far-fetched.
The first thing that Olivia said to me, "Ooh, I want a bow and arrow."
The Nerf Rebel Heartbreaker by Hasbro is a toy weapon made for girls. It's designed after Katniss Everdeen, the female heroine in The Hunger Games. So forget Cinderella and her handsome prince. Heroines for girls are changing fast. And Loyola marketing professor Sarah Gramata say toy manufacturers all want a piece of the pie.
So whether it be little girls or older audiences, they're looking at various different demographics and target audiences to try to reach and basically, try to capitalize on the fact that it's become so popular.
This new line of weapons may be changing playtime for girls, but it's still clinging to pink and purple colors, something that would never be found on a boy's toy. And some moms say the weapon is a good idea, but the colors and packaging are all wrong.
So, I mean, if little boys are playing with pink and purple guns too, then fine. But if it's intended to imply something beyond that, then I think it's unnecessary.
The idea behind the toy is to encourage social play and empower young girls to have the same fun boys are having. But do these type of toys encourage aggression in children? Olivia's mom says maybe so for boys.
I think it may be something that has to do with genetics, like maybe testosterone.
Olivia says she just doesn't care about any of it. She just wants to have fun.
It's pretty cool and I don't really want to play with it.
The New York Times says in the past, toy makers haven't proven successful in marketing boys' toys to girls. But these lines of toys have proven successful. They account for more than a quarter of the company's sales.
Thanks, Angela. Man, now I kind of wish I had a princess bow and arrow growing up.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
Monday marked the finale of one of TV's favorite comedies, How I Met Your Mother. Nick Amatangelo set out to find what people thought of the series finale.
On Monday, one of America's favorite comedy shows ended its 9-year run. Almost 13 million people tuned in to see How I Met Your Mother's season finale, making it the most watched episode ever. We asked some members of Loyola University Chicago what they thought of the finale.
Why did we spend 9 seasons trying to figure out all these things about the mom who dies in 10 minutes? It was so pointless. I've never been more irritated in my life.
I felt so cheated. I felt like Ted should have ended up with the mother. They had the storyline going for 9 years, so when he ended up with Robin, I just thought it was just a complete disappointment, I guess.
I didn't hate it like everybody else did, but it definitely wasn't what I expected. I wanted him to end up with the mother and be happy forever.
So we know the finale had a little bit less than stellar reviews. How would these staff members write it if they were in charge?
Mine would have had fireworks. And I feel like there wasn't enough funny and there wasn't enough characteristics of the show.
I would definitely not have killed off the mother. I would have definitely given her more time, especially throughout the last season.
Probably wouldn't have him end up with Robin, although I understand why they did it.
As for me, I'm more upset about the show leaving than the actual finale. Nick Amatangelo, Loyola University Chicago.
Now, Megan, I know that you were especially upset about the finale.
I can't even talk about it. Fireworks. They needed fireworks.
Well, that's our news for today. Thanks for watching.
We'll be back next week with another edition of Loyola News Chicago. For now, forget about the rain and the cold winter and start looking forward to spring. Have a great day.